A beaded toggle clasp can add so much design value to your necklace or bracelet. I love that you can match the color of your closure to the color theme of your beaded piece. It makes the finished piece look so professional. And beaded toggles are really very simple to create. A toggle consists of a bar and a ring that holds the bar. We'll keep it simple while you're learning by demonstrating a circular ring, but you can shape them with just a few minor adjustments. Now, to make them strong, the parts of a beaded toggle need to be three-dimensional. Surprisingly enough, you need only two sizes of beads for a beginner toggle, one color of size 15-0 Japanese beads and one color of size 11 Delicas. You can decorate your completed toggle with other sizes and types of beads later, but we'll talk about that in a while. Use a good strong thread such as Nymo D, Toho 1G, or Fireline, and a needle that will pass easily through your beads, most likely a size 10 or 12 beading needle. And only 2 stitches will be used, flat peyote stitch and peyote stitch in the round. This video will be too short to instruct them in depth, but if you are a true novice, you can go to the beadseast.com website and view the free video tutorials listed on the home page. Let's start with the toggle ring, since the size of the ring will determine the size of the bar. Needle up a 40-inch thread. This should suffice to complete the entire ring and give you some thread for the attachment to your beaded piece later. When you create the ring, you'll work from the inside out. Start with an even number of beads. We'll use 40 because it makes a good medium-sized toggle. Pick up 40 size 15-0 beads and form a ring by running back through several of those beads. Then center this ring on the thread. Working in peyote stitch in the round, add 1 round of the same 15-0. This 3-round assembly of 15-0s forms the interior of the three-dimensional ring. Now we'll switch to the Delicas to create the dimension. Add 1 round of Delicas and bring your thread out of the first Delica you added in the round. You'll see a slight cupping. When you add the next round of Delicas, the cupping will become more pronounced. Add 1 final round of Delicas on this side, and there's more cupping. Now go back to the interior of the ring again and pick up the thread we left hanging. Put the needle on this thread and make sure that the thread emerges from one of the innermost beads. Add 1 round of Delicas to this side, and then a second round of Delicas. You've got yourself a little tire rim. We're going to use either thread to zip the edges of the tire rim together. If you roll the edges together, you'll find that they line up nicely. That's because you have an odd number of rounds of the larger Delica. If you use an even number of rounds, the edges wouldn't line up correctly. Run the thread from a bead on one edge through the adjacent bead on the other edge. Tighten the thread to bring the edges together as you move around the ring. This will create an invisible seam. When the ring is completely zipped, weave back and forth a few times within the beads to secure the thread. For the bar, we'll weave a strip of flat peyote stitch. This can be even count or odd count peyote stitch, but for a beginner I recommend even count. When deciding how long to make the bar, you want it to extend only about 1 or 2 beads width on both sides beyond the edges of the completed ring. Needle up a 30-inch thread. Pick up enough Delicas to make the desired length. Leave a thread tail of about 6 inches. Work rows of flat peyote stitch until you have 10 rows, which will yield 5 edge beads on the short side. Roll the long edges of the flat strip together, then zip the edges together in pretty much the same manner as for the ring. Make a second pass of thread through the joint for security. Weave the needle through the bar so it emerges from the center hole on either end of the bar. Pick up a decorative bead and 1 15-0. Skip the 15-0 and run through the decorative bead and the entire center core of the toggle, then out the opposite end. Tighten the thread so the anchored decoration sits snugly against the end of the tubular toggle bar. Repeat the decoration on the unadorned side. I like to make a second pass of thread through the decorations because the toggle bar is subjected to wear. Now weave through the Delicas and bring the thread out roughly in the center of the bar's length. Now you need to attach the bar to the end of your beadwork. The strand of beads you use to attach the toggle bar should be a little less than half the length of the bar itself. Now let's decorate the toggle ring. The easiest decoration is to run a ridge of beads all around the ring in the center round of the larger beads, in this case the Delicas. You do want to leave one undecorated space in that round for the attachment. In this example, I've used two decorative rounds, one 11-0 and one 8-0. But you can get very elaborate with crystals and picots and all sorts of beautiful beads. In most cases, the decorations will have no effect on the function of your toggle. And when you're attaching the ring to the other end of your beaded design, use only enough beads to create a centered look when the toggle bar is within the ring. This is just good design sense, and it will make your project look really great. Here are some examples of completed pieces featuring beaded toggles. Don't forget to visit the free tutorials at beadseast.com, where you can also see larger photos of some of these example designs. Thanks for joining me. I hope you'll add this useful beaded closure to your repertoire of professional beading techniques. This is Ann Benson of Beads East, signing off. Please join me again soon.